What's going on, y'all? So today I want to talk about the first 3 credit cards I feel like everybody should get when they're on a path to building credit. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sharif. I go by Real Melanin King. I've been able to generate millions of dollars online in my early 20s simply from leveraging the power of financial literacy. And in this account, I am as raw, as authentic as possible. Everything you need to know when it comes to mindset, when it comes to habits, when it comes to everything in order to achieve success. And credit is one of the things I always recommend everybody have this tool, right? I actually made my last video, I talked about credit. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead, check it out. I talk about how it's one of the biggest things that you need and is actually killing people's wealth by having bad credit. All right. So if you don't have any credit cards, I want you to go ahead, click the link in my comments. Right, if you don't know anything about credit, I should say. If you don't know anything about credit, click the link in my comments. I mean, not even in the comments, in the description. I'll probably have in the comments as well too. And it's gonna kind of talk about a few things. It's gonna talk about, like, if you click the video, it's gonna talk about all the steps you need to do in order to learn about credit and to start building credit, right? So you need to start building credit. You need to learn about credit because credit is very important. You cannot escape it no matter what you do. Buying a house, car, investing into properties, getting funding for your business from the bank without paying any money, all the hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're going to need credit, right? Credit is a great financial tool. All right, let's get into the credit cards I recommend for beginners. If you are not a beginner, this video is not for you, right? So if you are a beginner, this video is for you. I do have videos on credit cards and things I suggest when it comes to actually getting high limit funding and stuff like that. I have literally whole videos on it, but this is not that video. This is literally just for the beginners. All right, so beginners, listen up. The first credit card I always recommend is going to be the Discover It credit card. Right now, they did just partner with Capital One. I don't know what this means about how easy it is for me to get this card, but I would imagine it wouldn't be any different because Capital One also have like beginner credit cards. So the Discover It, the reason why I recommend this one is because even if you are new to credit gang, they are approving people with high limits, right? And what that means is, a lot of the time they might have you start with secure credit cards, which means you would give them a certain amount of money and that money would be the limit for the credit card. But Discover It, they literally sometimes, even if you're new to credit, they will give you $5K, right? They'll give you $1K. They'll give you $2K off a new credit card, right? So I highly recommend Discover It as one of the first ones you actually tap into when you're actually on a path to actually building your credit as well too. So I highly recommend Discover It as one of the first ones you want to make sure you get. All right, so Discover It, that's the first one. All you got to do is search up Discover It pre-approval and see what they pre-approve you for. And it would not be with a hard pull. It will be with a soft pull. So is at no risk to you, right? So if you get approved, then you're good to go. If you get denied, they probably tell you, hey, we do have a secure credit card option, which at that point, all that means is, like, say, you would secure with your own money and you would pay them $200, $300, and then they'll give you that money back after they upgrade your car. You use it for 6 months and, you spend money on it, you pay it off, spend money on it, pay it off, and you're good to go. All right, so that'll be the first one. The second one I do recommend is going to be a Bank of America secure credit card. Right now, not a lot of people talk about this, but Bank of America is a good bank. On the business side, they are really lender friendly. They are really small business friendly, I should say. They are really small business friendly. They give a lot of tools for small businesses. So if you're looking to start a business, this is a really great one for you as well. So I highly recommend. And if you bank with them, it makes it even simpler. It makes it even easier if you're banking with them already. They give you crazy high limits and stuff like that too. So that will also be one of the good ones you can also start off with as well too, is make sure you get a Bank of America secure credit card. Now this will be secured, so that's mean guarantee you're gonna have to actually give them your money, but you can, of course, I would recommend if you have a branch next to you, right? So actual physical location for a Bank of America, you want to go inside and try to apply for it there. You have better odds if you actually go into the actual store and do it from there. I mean, the actual bank, and do it from there, right? Then, of course, even if they, you can apply for a normal credit card and then they will downsell you essentially and give you one of the secure credit cards. So I highly recommend you get a Bank of America one as well too. And then the next one I recommend, this one is a little bit tough because, actually, I'll throw in a bonus, right? Because I'm only going to really talk about 3. The bonus is going to be with a Navy Fed. The reason why I said this is a bonus because if you don't have somebody in the military, you cannot get Navy Fed, right? I mean, of course, there's a little ways around it, but I'm not really going to talk about that in this video. But you need typically a member in the military, or I guess I can touch briefly on another option is have a friend who is in Navy Fed, and they can send you one of their access codes and stuff like that as well too. But yeah, you need somebody in the military, and if you have somebody in the military, that's how you actually go. You go ahead, apply, they'll give it to you from there. The reason why I highly recommend this, and that's why is like honestly it would be number one if it really wasn't for the fact that you have to have somebody in the military. I will literally put it at number one. So that's the only reason why. That's the only thing that's keeping me from having it as number one, because you need somebody in the military in order to actually be able to get with Navy Federal, really, right? But if that was not the case, I would say it's number one. The reason why is because I remember one of my clients, it had a 500 credit score. We wiped off all the negative accounts, and then they got like literally a 14K credit card. All wanted, and they had no credit cards at all, right? So they give you literally a 14K credit card, which is literally unheard of, right? Or you know, credit unions, they do give high limits, and also once you become part of their family, it's also good to bank with them. And if you're banking with them, they actually able to give you like some crazy loans and stuff like that, and 0% interest on auto loans. It's just, man, it's definitely crazy once you tap in with those type of credit unions and stuff like that. Navy Federal, Penn Fed, you want to make sure you tap in with those. So yeah, that's the only reason I say is literally it's a bonus, right? Because like it's literally one of the best ones, but it's just, you know, situational depending on where you are. But the next one I would say is Capital One, and the only reason I say is a little bit Capital One is like because I do like Capital One. It's definitely great. I want my first credit card. They are gonna 9 times 10 also give you a secure credit card. If it's your first card, it would be the secure credit card. And the reason why I say I don't really like them is because they are really stingy on credit limits. So you can get Capital One. They're really great with the auto loan. So if you're trying to get an auto loan, they'll really help you get approved for the auto loan. They literally helped me get my auto loan for my first essentially supercar. You know, they did finance upwards of $75,000, so that was pretty good. But I had to cover the rest myself, which is, it wasn't bad. It was my first time doing that. So but yeah, they pre-proved pretty simple when other lenders had, you know, lowballed me a little bit, you know. So that was a little bit better as well too. So that's why I recommend them, because they do have some good cards, and some of their cards also give you some lounge access. You get lounge access with their card as well too once you upgrade, and that is the hack for them, right? So you actually get, of course, a secure credit card. You use that, use and abuse, of course, but of course as you're paying it off, and then later on you do something called a product change, right? You can ask them for a product change after a year, right? So they're gonna flip you into a regular unsecured credit card within that year if you're, you know, paying it off, and then they'll maybe give you like a $500 limit, $1,500, and it'll increase it. But they are really stingy when it comes to like getting past like 5K. They're really stingy about that, right? And then like if you ever miss any late payments on them, you know, typically if somebody missed a late payment, you can dispute it on other banks and stuff like that. They'll give it to you, but like Capital One is really hard to get a late payment off, right? Not, hey, you guys shouldn't be getting late payments regardless, but you know, God forbid something happen, and events that happen, it is pretty difficult. So yeah, those are some of the banks I recommend. And another honorable mention would be a Chase Slate. This one is student exclusive. If you are a student, you're going to high school, or you are in college, get a Chase Slate card or a student card. If you go with Chase, it's usually not secure. I've never heard of any secure cards with Chase. I don't know any secure cards with Chase, right? But it will be unsecured, and they'll give you some decent limits. My first card with Chase, it was my first credit card ever. They gave me $1,500, right? But I was banking with them, right? So they saw a lot of money come in and out. I mean, at that time I was living in high school, so I wasn't that much money. So yeah, highly recommend Chase. But it's like also an honorable mention, just because like I say, hey, you have to either banking with them or also get one of their Slate cards, which is gonna be a lot more simpler, right? So yeah, if you need more help with credit, make sure you go ahead and check out my other channel, RomellandKing.com, so you can be able to get that credit information, credit knowledge, and start getting educated on it. All right, y'all, catch y'all on the next one.